Welcome back, Sims Complete football fans, and we continue the breakdown of our quarterback rankings from each division. And now the division we'll be going to is the AFC West, Phil. The AFC West, Phil. All right. So
yes, I know,
sure we say yes, Phil.
I was mixing things up between the AFC and NFC West, and I was going, damn, this doesn't make sense. And you're looking at me and go, what the hell are you doing? But whatever.
What are you doing, man?
But here's my train of thought right now.
Yeah, go.
I'm looking at your background.
Yes.
And mine is terrible. I'm going to fix it. I just got to get to it because it's so ugly in here.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like the helmets. I see my all-iron trophy behind you.
Yeah. Where is it?
Yeah. I like that a lot. And
hey, and the great story about that too, right? Is that Shabby, right? Matt Schaub,
right,
former quarterback of the Houston Texans and also the Atlanta Falcons with me when we made that Super Bowl run with that whole crew, the quarterback room full of Matts, Matt Schaub, Matt Sims, Matt Ryan, Matt LaFleur as our quarterback coach. Matt Schaub is nice enough to invite me to his home for Thanksgiving.
Right.
Had a great time with his family, his kids, his parents were there as well. So really enjoyed being there with them. He's like, hey, come here. I want to show you something. And we go downstairs into his little bar, trophy case area. And he's like, this trophy right here is my favorite trophy of all time. And he shows me the all iron team from Big Phil, that trophy that you see right above my head right now. And he goes, hey, you know why I like this? He goes, you could really hurt somebody with this too.
Oh, that's a great. Okay.
He goes,
that was my intentions.
Yeah. Well, he goes, if somebody breaks into the house, I'm going to use this on him, and I'm telling you, it is something. It's the heaviest damn trophy out there, but it is a cool trophy. And it was really nice of him to share that moment, obviously with me, him being a winner of that award that you had back when you were announcing.
It is very heavy, and I like the fact that they made it like a real iron, the same size and all that, just much heavier. But it's like John. I had an all Madden trophy in the office out there with you.
Oh my God! I think it's over here somewhere. It is. I think it pounds. Yeah.
No. I think it came in at a small 32 or something like that, or 22. I forgot what I weighed it. When he passed away, I said, John Madden, bigger than life. Everything was bigger with him. And I weighed the trophy and I was like, wow. Can you imagine shipping those things out?
It was like real, like cast iron too. It's like real thick. It's a solid block. It's really not like anything super, special or done up. It's just like a solid brick of steel. It's just unbelievable.
It was great. It was great. Okay. Enough BS. Let's talk about the AFC West quarterbacks and what we think.
Phil. Yeah.
And I got a number. I'm going to be truthful now. I got a number. It's 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Which number are you going to take?
It's 1.
Oh, you're right. Because you know my secret.
That's right.
Everybody always picks 2.
I know you, Phil. Damn. I am you, Phil.
I should have changed. As soon as I said it, I went, oh, I know you're disappointed about that, but you got to live with it.
So disappointed.
All right. So you get to pick. What do you want? You want to go first or second?
I'm going to go second. I want to hear who you have at number 4 because I think the 4-3 spot is a little interchangeable. I think the 1 and 2 to me is very clear.
Yeah.
But the 3-4 spot, a little interchangeable. And it's more of a group because we don't really know who the starters are going to be for these 2 franchises. So at number 4, Phil Sims has who?
Well, I did this on 3 and 4. I got all 3 quarterbacks in there. So Aidan O'Connell, Gardner Minshew the second, and Anthony Brown. Well, it won't be Anthony Brown the starter, but I put him in number 4. 1, because I think just physically I like maybe the number 3 group better. That's probably the biggest reason.
Okay.
And, I'll just say these things real quick. Gardner Minshew, to me, is I'm trying to think who was a great reliever. He's a great reliever, I think, for starting quarterbacks. Can come in there, knows how to play, can make plays, has a little magic. Players love him, his attitude, his way, all that stuff. It's awesome. But also, when I say that, I don't know. If I had to pick a winner, who's going to win that job out there, Gardner Minshew or Aidan O'Connell? I'm going to say Aidan O'Connell is going to win the job.
Okay. Why is that?
Because very polished, big, plays big, stands in the pocket, can make throws while he's getting hit, accurate with the football, He's been out there already. They've seen him for a year, so they have that in a bucket. They kind of know who he is.
Right.
And I think he'll be a better player this year than he was last year.
Right.
And I think everybody just talks about it's Gardner Minshew. Again, I like everything he does, but they're kind of different quarterbacks. Aidan O'Connell is going to stick to the plan, find the open guy, and get rid of the football, I think pretty quick. And he surprised me how well he played in the NFL last year as a rookie. So that's my number 4.
I would agree with you. I really think that just like big picture wise for the Raiders, I always say Oakland. It's so bad. But for the Las Vegas Raiders, I think Antonio Pierce is probably going to try to lean towards Aidan O'Connell more. At number 4, I also have Aidan O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. I think that he's going to like a lot of just the attitude, right, that Gardner brings, right, that just like infectious energy, right, that goes throughout the locker room with the type of character he is, that how much fun he has, how he's loose, but he's also how he works so hard and is so dedicated to his craft. So I think he's going to have a hard time kind of denying those things, because I think that's what Antonio Pierce wants to see in his quarterback, especially in Las Vegas and for the Raiders. But I think Aidan O'Connell's skill set fits a little bit more of what we hear Antonio Pierce want to do offensively. Be big, be strong, push people around at the offensive line, do play action passes, be able to have his quarterback being big and strong, you're mentioning too. And I think, Aidan O'Connell, with his experience last year, I think he can build upon that, like you're saying, and really just be a above average functional quarterback for this football team as they still kind of find their way and identity going forward under Antonio Pierce's leadership.
Let me give you a new slant on this as you say all that. I had it written down. A couple things. Aidan O'Connell, his arm looked much better than I expected last year, and I think that'll improve. He'll get a little even more pep on the football. But think about it this way. You wouldn't know the answer to this, but I'll say it anyway. Who was the great relief quarterback for the Raiders that was unbelievable how he would come in games and pull it out for the Raiders? Kind of back in one of the George Blanda.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
I would have never gotten that.
When I was, I know you would. When I was growing up, they'd be the West Coast game. You'd see him at 4. Right. And then they'd be losing by whatever, and they'd put George Blanda in, midway in the fourth quarter. He was really, I can't even think of his age. He was in his 40s, and, bing, boom, boom. And then he'd get them in, either score the touchdown or they didn't get it on third down. So he'd kick the game-winning field goal. He was the kicker.
Right.
I mean, it was unbelievable. And I'm saying that because so cool. I think that's what you got with Gardner Minshew.
Right.
Stay with Aidan O'Connell. Don't be afraid to pull him out when you need that little jolt, because Gardner Minshew is going to give it to you. And then you go back the following week, right back to Aidan O'Connell.
You don't think that messes with Aidan O'Connell, being a young quarterback, kind of that, that give and take that way as far as the job being taken away from him, like emotionally and physically, all that kind of stuff?
I think he can handle it. I do.
Okay.
Don't forget, who did he play for in college? Jeff Brom.
That's right.
Jeff Brom, okay. He's heard it all. He knows every curse word there is in the English language or whatever.
He yelled at me pretty good when I was at Louisville. So yes,
I'm sure
he was talented. That's for sure.
So, I know it's tough, and but I think it's a great dynamic. And even as a young quarterback, you go, okay, he'll make him grow. And listen, if it destroys him, then he wasn't the guy.
Okay.
You got to overcome these things, and I think they can set these parameters. I'm not saying if they're losing in the fourth quarter every time they're going to pull him out, but if it's not going well, you got to get that spark sometimes, and you can't always do it with sometimes the players around the quarterback or the coach. So It's just a thought I have, and that would be interesting. And if you kind of set the table during training camp and in meetings, and everybody's in there together, that you understand these roles and you can get it done. So do I think that'll happen? Yeah, probably not, but it is a thought that if there's two guys and a coach that can make it work, I like my chances of those three doing it.
I like it a lot too. And I also just want to highlight that I feel like for Aidan O'Connell, something that this team will probably look into getting to doing more of, and that is using their two big, strong, powerful tight ends that they have in their passing attack to go along with Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers. Right now you have Brock Bowers, who is an absolute he is the next iteration of that Travis Kelce type of receiving tight end, right?
Yes, he
Along with
is
Michael
for
Meyer,
real.
to go along with those two guys. I feel like they can get a lot of interesting offensive sets,
Yeah.
the tight end wing stuff, the double tight end looks where you can motion shift them and really start to dictate how you run the football, but also how you attack defenses in the passing game. So really exciting for that too. And yeah, I think Aidan O'Connell will fit perfectly into those guys' skill sets, throwing the football down the field and over the middle with his size and ability.
Yeah, Brock Bowers is the real deal.
Yeah.
And he has got a lot of slickness to him, just like Travis Kelce.
Right.
He's faster than Travis Kelce. He's strong. I mean, and he after the catch, man, he's dynamic. So it's gonna be great to see. Okay, I did number 4, right? You got to do number 3.
Number 3, I'm going with the Broncos law firm of Stidham, Nix, and well, I just had Stidham and Nix. You had the third quarterback there available for the Broncos as well, right?
Zach Wilson.
So I'm, he's number 3 to me, and I think it's going to be Stidham or Nix. And, right now I think Stidham is one of those guys that I think a little underappreciated, never really got the opportunity to be like the guy, but has shown recently that when he does play, he plays extremely well. He's got an above average arm. I think he has good athleticism. He makes good decisions consistently. And I think that Stidham is a very similar version of a Bo Nix in a lot of ways as far as how you evaluate the physical skill set of them. They don't do anything necessarily like extremely well. They just do everything really, really well.
It's a good point. I kind of see it a little differently.
Okay.
I think the job is there for Bo Nix. I think the Broncos understand who they are, whatever. Sooner or later, Bo Nix is going to get a lot of play this year to get him ready for when they can turn this thing around and really feel like for real that they have a chance to be a good time or a good playoff team, not just sneaking in there or whatever. So Bo Nix, I always watched him all year last year.
Yeah.
I liked him a lot. I didn't see any things that really bothered me at all about Bo Nix.
Right.
And I always thought this, Matt, man, he's perfect for Sean Payton.
Yeah.
I would, even during the year, I would think that he's perfect for Sean.
Yeah.
And
all year during the college season, I kept telling you, I'm like, you're going to like this guy, Nix, when you watch his film, man, because he does a lot of really good stuff. High football quarterback play so consistently. I mean, to throw it for over 70% 2 years in a row in college, I don't give a damn what offense you play in. It's that impressive.
It's not that he threw over 70%. It's like, damn, he wanted to go to 80.
He was closer to 80, yeah.
But you're right. Listen. I hate to bring this up, and I'm just saying it. Look, Drew Brees was a great, what's the word for it? Getting ready for the game. I mean, he was over the top meticulous.
Yeah.
And, when I've told the story on our podcast, I'll say it one more time. He was in a meeting with us. We're doing the game.
Yeah.
And when he left, he was mad at the PR people. And they tell me, I go, why was he mad? You didn't come in. You were 2 minutes late coming in to get me. Now, I don't know what the time was, but it was something. I'm like, what? Because he has to go out and look in the mirror and go over every play, then go on the field by himself and drop back and play every play. And he would do this for like an hour on a Friday. And my point being, I look at all those quarterbacks out in Denver, and I see Bo Nix as that guy. His father was a coach. You knew the offense they were running very well. You knew the coordinator. He was there at Louisville with you. What was his name again?
Will Stein.
Will Stein.
Yes, sir.
So gets rid of the football. A big thinker, loves to change plays, on and on and on, and all of that just says it has Sean Payton all over. And not that I believe what I listen on or hear on TV all the time, but it sounds like Bo Nix is really turning out right now. It's off season. But kind of being the guy they thought he would be. Yeah. So that's who I think will win that job.
Yeah. And honestly, it could play out either way. I'm excited for them. I wouldn't be upset really if it was Jarrett Stidham to start because I do believe in Jarrett Stidham and his ability too. But yeah, I agree with you in the sense that I feel like ultimately, yes, Bo Nix will be in that starting lineup and he will be getting substantial amount of reps to get that experience. But fully trust in Sean Payton, though, to make sure that he brings his quarterback along where he thinks it's necessary. And also give him enough credit, too, as a play caller to play the game for that rookie to make sure that he is comfortable in making good decisions and not overwhelming him, too soon with, a heavy play sheet.
Well, think about it this way, too. If it is Bo Nix starting, Jarrett Stidham, whatever, it's kind of like, okay, let's give him a chance at the end of the game to pull one out for us,
right?
But then go right back to the other quarterback. I mean, I don't think that would happen as much there as it would maybe with the Raiders.
Yeah.
But it's just a thought I had since we talked about it with the Raiders.
Yeah.
Okay, so we agree there. That's pretty good.
Yep.
Here we go. Number 2, I have Justin Herbert of the Chargers. And
the Chargers.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see many things. And you know this more than me. I'll be quick.
No, go.
One, Harbaugh, it's real.
Yeah.
I mean, we all thought, hey, he's a kook and whatever. We had all these thoughts about him over the years. But he has got it. I mean, He has a magic touch. And, I think I went back and just paid attention more to the days when he was in San Francisco and saw what he did with that dynamic out there and that football team and covered them in the Super Bowl. I remember
saving Alex Smith's career, Vernon Davis saving their career. I mean, just
started Colin Kaepernick,
Yeah. And then, of course, Colin Kaepernick kind of changing the way that everyone viewed the quarterback position. And also, too, Greg Roman not getting the credit he deserves for those moves and for that. Yeah, keep going.
No, it's okay. Greg, go ahead. Talk about Greg Roman. First off, what the hell is everybody thinking about in the NFL? Should have been hired as a coordinator, one. And I thought he should have been a head coach.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you told me this, more than me. I covered him many times with the Baltimore Ravens, but you were under him a little bit, and you just said he is just a unbelievable worker, organized and thoughtful and creative. I mean, you couldn't say enough great things about him. So tell us a little more.
Yeah, I mean, it just, when I was there in Buffalo with him, he was the offensive coordinator there for Rex Ryan. They had just brought Tyrod Taylor from Baltimore, who is a seasoned backup at that time behind Joe Flacco.
Right.
Greg Roman convinces Rex Ryan to bring up Tyrod and says, hey, this guy is a starting NFL quarterback, and we can build an offense around him. Long story short, Tyrod and that team go to the playoffs, and Tyrod's a Pro Bowl quarterback. And I think, Greg Roman, his ability to really, he was that first experience that I had of just really being super tactical in setting plays up, building plays, really choreographing the way that he would design his offense, right? To kind of set the tone one way, allow the defense to react, and then having those 5 or 6 plays that work its way off of that and really just throw the defense off. And a lot of that was surround formations, the complication of his run game, which is something that I think is really going to be exciting too with this running back room. Is just like they are going to be super sophisticated in the run game. It's going to take tremendous pressure off of Justin Herbert from just dropping back and being super dynamic as a thrower all the time. And that will then allow him, I think, to be that much more dynamic when it is his time, because Greg Roman's really going to doctor it up and give him great opportunities to make explosive plays down the field with that running game, with that play design.
Great thoughts. Really well done. I just got to say this too.
Yeah.
He created the greatest run game in history.
Right.
I talked to defensive coordinators in that time.
Yeah.
And they would just go, oh my, it's unbelievable. They were like, oh my God. Let's just make sure Lamar doesn't run the ball. That's all they could think. But it didn't matter because they had people. It was like people going this way, people going that way, blocking, getting angles. I mean, it was and you know what happened? But you always know it's great when the NFL is trying to copy what you're doing.
Right.
And a lot of people did, but they realized, to create these great run schemes, that takes 10 times longer than it does to create a pass play in the NFL?
Right.
Run plays are intricate, lots of variables to them, whatever. But Greg, so they did that. And then we had to hear this from the pundits on TV. Well, he's just not helping Lamar Jackson enough.
He helped him win an MVP.
Yeah, that, the number 1 seed. Oh, I don't know. What else do you want? He wins. Yeah, you're right. Wins the MVP. They lead the league in rushing. They set records.
Right.
And Lamar was playing great, but that wasn't good enough because they overlooked it. We need him to throw so we can really talk about Lamar.
No, and this is where it kind of goes like, and this is what's great too, I think, for Justin Herbert, because I think everyone at home, we know how great he is, right? We know the talent that he is. He is a little bit of what we discussed in the NFC West show not too long ago, right? Of that Justin Herbert has the qualities of a Matthew Stafford, but was never really given all the other surrounding pieces to be like, wow, this guy really is that fantastic of a football player.
Yeah.
Now that you introduce Harbaugh, you introduce Greg Roman, right? You get Joe Alt now to be that anchor on that left side of the offensive line. This is a group that we're going to finally see what Justin Herbert is all about. And we're really going to see him now kind of take that, quote unquote, next step in his game, because it's not going to be all on him. He's going to have a team that's really well designed and structured, tough as hell. We know that for sure about all the Harbaugh teams. It doesn't matter what Harbaugh you're talking about, right? If you've seen their father out there, he's probably the toughest one of them all. So, I think they got a lot of great things going for them. It's a great thing for Justin Herbert. It's a great thing for the skill group. And Greg Roman, I think, is a huge piece for it. What Greg Roman has done with, Andrew Luck, Alex Smith, Colin Kaepernick, Lamar Jackson, Tyrod Taylor, so let's be real. This guy has done a lot of really good things, right, for these guys offensively. And I think Harbaugh understands that, and why he was probably one of the first phone calls he made when he got that job out there in Los Angeles.
Oh, I'm sure he did. I'll say this. When you watch the Chargers play the last couple years,
yeah,
and I would do it, and whatever, I complain. I said, when a team doesn't have an answer to the blitz, where they can't pick it up, they don't have the right scheme, you have no chance of winning big games. And it just seemed like it was week after week. Chargers, everybody complained, but Justin Herbert's not doing it when it counts. And I would watch those games. I can think about the Cowboys and the Miami Dolphins. There was many, but those came about. They're shredding the defenses. The Chargers are doing great. Then at the end of the game, the other team starts to blitz. No answers. Sack, throw away, game over. And then, Justin Herbert's got to come through in those spots. You can't come through when you don't pick up blitzes.
No doubt. Or even have a thought process that shows that we have a plan for it.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what really is most annoying, right? It's not like Justin Herbert is choosing like, let me just sit back here and just get annihilated, by free runners all day. So, but we do know, though, know that Justin Herbert, he's athletic. He throws it great on the run. He throws one of the best deep balls in the game. And he's a tough SOB, like you were saying, right? And that's where I made that comparison with Matt Stafford. A lot of Matt Stafford qualities to now, Matt Stafford found Sean McVay later in his career. Justin Herbert, luckily for him, a little bit earlier on in his career, but I think he is going to have that big of a change, right, as far as the trajectory of how we feel about him from now on.
Well, I think you and I talking about a few minutes before we did this on the air, I think the one thing I said, and you agreed, I'm just can't wait, or I want to see how this really evolves and how it works for Justin Herbert, because he's not Lamar Jackson. We know that running the football, and he's such a big, tall guy. You got to be a little careful too. So this is going to be, I can't wait to see this. Here's my other thought. Did you hear what they were talking about, their conditioning test or whatever they did out there in Charger land?
Yeah.
And Jim Harbaugh just gushed about Justin Herbert. So you can tell it's kind of like what he did with the 49ers. I was going to say earlier when I went to that Super Bowl when they were playing Baltimore,
right?
When I watched them practice, I go, this is the greatest looking team I've ever seen.
Right.
You know what I mean? You just go, wow. Everything was wow.
No, the 49ers teams, they were scary looking when they came on the field.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, just from my experience of watching the national championship games, the Rose Bowl, and there was no doubt Michigan was the better looking football team when they walked on the field. They just had a look of like, damn, every kid, does he even play? Because he looks like he's an All-American, So it's just they have a great look to him, and I think that's something that is very personal to both the Harbaughs, really, because it does seem to be a common trend with both of them and their football teams that they are physically imposing looking teams.
They really
play against them.
Yeah, it's going to be great. The Chargers, for as long as even when I was in the league, oh, they're soft, that when they say that, which is a terrible word to say about any NFL team, but they were so much about throwing the football.
They lack physicality.
Physicality, yeah. I have a hard time saying that word, so I don't say it too often. All right, so we both got him at number 2 and number 1.
Oh man,
it was close. It was really close, but we gave it to Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And so
I just pity.
Yeah.
I felt pity for him, so I just put him at 1.
And of course, we're very concerned. Everybody's very concerned. Who's going to catch the ball this year? Well, it really hurt them last year. I tell you, it just tore their team apart. That's right, they won the Super Bowl. But God.
That's what's so cool, I think, about Patrick Mahomes now too, and Andy Reid.
Yes,
is that they really have kind of found that secret sauce to where it doesn't matter, right? He is just. I go back to that Baltimore Ravens game, which I think to me was kind of like one of those where I'm like, damn, they're going to win the Super Bowl. Because if they can beat this team the way that they did, I mean, there he is, 35 of 30 or 31 for 250 yards or something like that, and just dinking and dunking, creating plays with his feet, and just keeping the Baltimore Ravens defense on the field. Nothing special, nothing crazy, no, gadget plays like we see from Andy Reid, just him being super surgical with his decision making and his accuracy. And that's where I'm like, man, this guy, we might be watching the greatest of all time, right? Play the position. I know Tom Brady's awesome, but like we might be seeing kind of like a Michael Jordan type of character in sports right now in the game of football with Patrick Mahomes and his performance these last few years.
Well, Matt, let's just say this. He was not being, it wasn't turning out to be a good year for them or for Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And then they came to this realization, we got to play a different way.
Right.
And when I'm really saying the quarterback, left the pocket too early, looking for the big play too much. He started just running the offense. It was calmed down. It was more surgical. The turnovers went, they only, what do you have, 1 interception during the playoffs?
Yeah.
None against Miami, none against the Bills, none against Baltimore, and he had 1 in the Super Bowl.
1 in the Super Bowl.
Just the way he played the plays. And the biggest thing is, too, I heard Andy Reid talking about this, but he controlled his throwing.
Right.
The speed of the ball. Listen, all those drops, I watched, like I've said many times on this pod, I watched them all. And I said, Jesus, I would never want the guy who grades all these drops grading me for anything, because those drops, I mean, come on. The guys are sliding in their hands, and that's a drop. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But they just got back, and he started throwing the ball with the right speed on the pass.
Yeah.
I think that was really important. He threw some that were dropped. Nobody could have caught him. He threw him so hard.
Right.
I mean, not many quarterbacks have that problem, but he could throw it so hard that they just couldn't handle it. And I heard Andy Reid during this offseason doing an interview. It was awesome. He goes, Patrick Mahomes, he's never been around anybody like it, of course. He goes, he can throw all day, every day, and he never gets tired.
Right.
He has conditioned himself. Now, his motion has turned out to be fantastic.
Right.
He's got it. He's really controlled, gets his body into it, all that stuff. But
throws it more sidearm than people like to give it credit for. I love that too. When I'm coaching young QBs, hey, throw the arm like a little more sidearm. Don't worry about getting so vertical on your release. Oh, I don't want to do that. Coach says I have a low release. Well, does your coach watch Patrick Mahomes on Sunday? Because if we're not trying to imitate the best in the world, then what the hell are we doing?
Yeah, no, it's I always have this thought. Show me somebody that throws really over the top, and I'll show you somebody sitting on the bench. Okay. You watch here. I got a picture right here. Here we go. This is working out great. I cut them out because I want to show young kids. So over the top. Look at Aaron Rodgers here. His arm is
here. We don't see it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, hold on. There it is.
There you go.
Oh my God, look at that. It's wide and it's still high, but he has his feet planted. But it just shows you he's going to go around it.
Right.
Not over the top. Look where his hand is.
Yeah. I know
So
that's the other thing too. Oh, get on top of the football.
oh
Whatever. But
yeah, I love watching videos of all the teachers, and I see these things. I go, yeah, okay, that's great.
yeah, that's one of the funniest things about Phil Simms getting introduced to Instagram. He's seeing all these QB coaches out there, and he's like,
Oh,
God, these guys are idiots.
it's killing me, man.
It's
I
killing.
mean,
It kills me too, man. It's all good.
hey,
But
look,
to go
yeah,
back
go
to
ahead.
our theme though, right here,
Yes,
just what you were saying, which I think is a great point. Patrick was maybe trying to be too dynamic of a thrower. And
no doubt.
then after that Las Vegas Raiders game, he really started to understand I just got to be a great passer of the football, right? For this
Yeah.
particular football team. And what they do, they go out there, they get Xavier Worthy, they get Hollywood Brown, right? They have Travis Kelce, of course. Hopefully, now with these other two involved in the offense, we can finally get to see a little bit more from Sky Moore and Justin Watson. So this is a team that, is constantly improving and getting better and finding ways to win. And with Patrick Mahomes at the top of the pyramid with Andy Reid, they're going to get whoever is involved right, and I love too the dynamic of Isaiah Pacheco in the backfield being physical and strong and just running, as intensely as he is, because I feel like he's just a great balance to all the other finesse things that they do extremely well.
Yeah. That was an interesting transformation we saw late in the year by the Kansas City Chiefs. And it'll be interesting. I would think they'll start out right that same way, and of course, I think too, Matt, the game management, the play calls, working the clock, everything, they did all of that against the Baltimore Ravens. Mm-hmm. They were managing that game right from the start.
Right.
Trying to slow it down because let's be honest, when I looked at those teams, I go, the Ravens are physically the better team.
Yes.
And, so they played right into that hand, the Kansas City Chiefs. We are going to fight from start to finish. Yep. That was really evident. But how they managed the game and how Patrick Mahomes managed himself was really big keys and why, just a couple reasons why they won. So,
for sure.
That's it.
Have you seen their Super Bowl ring?
I think I did. Yeah, I mean it's unbelievable.
It's got a few more diamonds than your Super Bowl ring. I know.
Oh
that
my gosh! They could take our Super Bowl rings and put them inside their Super Bowl rings. I mean, these Super Bowl rings are unbelievable now.
Yeah, they're amazing. They really are. This one is super special. But yeah, so it's Patrick Mahomes, number one in the AFC West for sure.
Yeah,
number one in the NFL. I mean, let's be honest. He's the best quarterback in the game right now. And the AFC West, though, just to kind of go back through that list again, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, then you have the Broncos and Raiders and kind of where they'll play the quarterback position. But I know one thing, a lot of really good offensive minds in this group here too. NFC West is interesting, but AFC West, wow. I mean, Andy Reid and the boys there, Herbert now with Roman, right? And just the physicality that they bring to that table, along with just, his thought process. And then Sean Payton, one of the better offensive minds that the NFL has ever seen. So it's this division's got its work cut out for sure for slowing down these offenses week in and week out.
Yeah, good luck. As once this year gets rolling, I'm telling you, but hey, it's going to be fun. We're getting there to the time. I'm looking at training camps in a couple of weeks. What about 3 weeks?
Yeah,
we're going to have people going to camp, so it's going to be great. Can't wait to see. I'm one of those guys, and there's a lot of us. I don't mean to say it that way. I love watching preseason football. Yeah, I really do. And I'm not going to say I watch all 4 quarters every time, because sometimes, man, when that fourth quarter comes, they're just like, come on, let's get out of here. But I believe in it. I believe in it for the starters to get enough action to really feel like what it is. You can never duplicate it in practice. I don't care what you do. Right. Because in practice, why is it different? Because nothing counts.
Yeah.
So, the corner's great. But what if somebody runs by him? See, they don't worry about that in practice as much. In a game, can't be deep. Practice. Right. And it happens for all the players at every position. So, but it's going to be fun. A lot of good QBs in this league. It was fun talking about them. And I think that's it. You got anything else?
We're almost done. We still got the NFC East and the NFC East and AFC East to do for our quarterback rankings for division. So we're almost there. So
if you could just there. clear your schedule just a little bit so I can be part of it, I'll be ready to do it.
All right. Whatever you say, man. We're
Hey,
just
man.
glad that you're back.
Hey,
from
Matt,
Italy.
Matt,
All right.
Matt, can we do this tomorrow? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm good from 11 till 11:15. Is that good? No.
Let's go. Be more efficient, bro. All right. I got stuff to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, man. Good job. Well, I'll talk to you.
All right, Phil. You the
later.
man. Sims
You the
complete.
man.
That's all we got. Phil Sims, Matt
Yep.
Sims. Check us out on YouTube, Believe Network as well. Listen to anywhere that podcasts are available. Follow Big Phil at Phil Sims at Instagram and Twitter there. And we'll be back with more. And as the great Coach Phil would say, hey, toodles. Okay.
Hey,
See you later.
You
Hey,
guys
hey,
are
who's
not
better
very
than you?
tough.
Nobody. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
It's nice to be
All right.
nice, Phil.
See you, bud.
See ya.